Hey guys, welcome back to the Political Seer, where I give my 2 cents and my takes on political betting markets. And this is going to be the March 2022 edition of the 2024 Republican presidential nomination market. Now, in my opinion, there's only 3 realistic candidates that can win the Republican presidential nomination in 2024, and those are the top 3 candidates you see on this list: Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and Nikki Haley. Now, I'm going to say this. If Donald Trump decides to run for the Republican nomination, he will win. Because if he does, Ron DeSantis will not run. They are not going to run against each other. And the primary map is just too friendly to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is still the most popular figure in the Republican Party today. And not just that, but according to opinion polling these days, Donald Trump is the most popular politician in America today at 59% approval. There is no other national politician. When I say politician, I say national politician. There is no other national politician that can touch that approval rating right now. So Donald Trump is the most popular politician in the country today. So if he decides to run, he will win the nomination, because you have to understand how the primary map works. He will crush it in Iowa. No one will come close to him in Iowa. He will go to New Hampshire, a little bit more resistance there. New Hampshire, a little bit more of an establishment, moderate, friendly state, but he still should be fine there. He'll go to South Carolina, where he'd square off with Nikki Haley. I think the Republican establishment would make South Carolina ground zero for the Never Trump movement, but he's just too popular in the South. And then Florida, I mean, with Ron DeSantis at the helm to help Donald Trump win there, and it being Donald Trump's now home state, I mean, game, set, and match. I mean, look for the Republican Party to change the rules, right? You know, in 2016, they changed the rules and made Florida a winner-take-all state, which used to be a proportional state, but they changed it to winner-take-all in 2016 to help Jeb Bush, and it ended up backfiring on them when Trump won the state. I mean, look for them to make moves like making Florida proportional again, making South Carolina winner take all. I mean, the Republican Party is definitely going, when I say the Republican Party, I mean the leadership, not the voters, but the leadership is going to do everything in their power to stop Donald Trump, but I just don't see it happening. And so if Donald Trump decides to run, he will win the nomination. He's just too popular in the party, and who's going to beat him, right? Now, if Donald Trump runs, which I do think he will, by the way, I do think he's going to run, then I think the Republican establishment is going to throw everything around Nikki Haley as the Never Trump candidate. They're working on her image right now. They're going to make her seem like the reasonable alternative. They're going to, say Donald Trump's too old. He already got his shot. He's too polarizing. They're going to present Nikki Haley. They're going to try to make her image as an America first, principled conservative type, even though she's not, by the way. Nikki Haley is your typical neocon, warmongering, chamber of commerce, crony capitalist, pro-China Republican, the type of Republican that turned off voters nationwide, that ushered in the way for Barack Obama. She is everything that I personally hate about the Republican Party. She is the definition of crony Republican, but the Republican leadership, the RNC and all of that are going to work on her image to make her seem like she's an America first, make America great again, Donald Trump endorsed, all that type of candidate. They're not going to make her clash with Donald Trump. They're going to try to brand her as like a younger female Donald Trump if Donald Trump decides to run, and they're going to say things like, don't vote for Donald Trump, vote for Nikki Haley. She's pretty much Trump without the baggage and younger and blah, blah, blah. It's not, I just don't see that strategy working. They're definitely going to try. But like I said, where is she going to beat Donald Trump? I mean, her most favorable state in the early primary map would be South Carolina, because that's where she's from. And then obviously Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott and the entire Republican establishment will throw everything to get her to win that state. But Donald Trump is too popular in the South. He's too popular of a politician. And that's what kind of drives me nuts about the narrative that Donald Trump is too polarizing. He needs to step aside. All the polling out there right now, even polling that was unfavorable to Trump in 2020, shows him beating, everybody on the Democrat side these days. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, you name it. He's beating them head to head. And that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, well, he did that in 2022. No. There were no polls out there that showed Donald Trump beating Joe Biden head to head in 2020. Not in the popular vote. There were none. All of the polling showed Joe Biden having a pretty comfortable lead in the popular vote in 2020. So for polling to show Donald Trump beating Joe Biden in the popular vote now shows a massive shift underway, and that is mainly because of Hispanics. Hispanics are the reason. Specifically, working class Hispanic men are becoming a pretty reliable voting bloc for, I don't want to say for the Republican Party. These Hispanic working class men are voting Republican because of Donald Trump and not because of the Republicans. They still don't trust the Republican Party. George W. Bush ruined the relationship between Hispanics and the Republican Party for a while because of the housing crisis in 2008. And they're slowly starting to come back over because of Donald Trump's pro-working class, America First message, and the Republican leadership hates that. They don't want that type of voter in the Republican tent because the Republican leadership is not America first. They are overseas first. They are China first. They are Wall Street first. They are not Main Street first like Donald Trump. And therefore, that is why you don't see the Republican Party embracing Hispanics coming over to the Republican Party. If you remember in 2012 when Mitt Romney lost, remember their autopsy, the Republican autopsy showing that Mitt Romney lost because he didn't win Hispanics, which is total bunk, by the way. Even if Mitt Romney won 70% of the Hispanic vote, he still would have lost because it was working class whites that did not vote for Mitt Romney that made the difference. But anyway, we heard about how the Republican Party is going to die if they don't win the Hispanic vote. But what was the solution that the Republican leadership presented? It was amnesty. We just need to give amnesty to illegal immigrants and have open borders and all that. That was their solution. But that's the thing. The reason Hispanics are coming over to the Republican Party now is because of Donald Trump's pro-working class, strong immigration, America First message, not amnesty, not open borders. And that's why you don't see the Republican Party these days celebrating the gains that the party is making on the Texas border and all those border counties in Texas and nationwide. California 13, Nevada, states like that showing massive gains because of Hispanics, but it's because of Donald Trump those Hispanics are coming over. They still don't trust the average Republican, but they do trust Donald Trump. And so you're hearing, like I said, going back, you're still hearing this message out there that Trump's too polarizing, he can't win, but the polling shows otherwise. And I hear a lot of people, I know a lot of Republicans and conservatives in my own life, and they all say that Donald Trump needs to step aside and let Ron DeSantis run, but the polling's not there yet. DeSantis just doesn't poll as well as Trump right now. Most of it is because of name recognition. But the map also isn't as favorable to DeSantis. And I think one issue that DeSantis is weak on is trade. He's not quite at the same level on trade as Donald Trump is, and that could hurt in states like Ohio and Pennsylvania. But say Donald Trump doesn't run. Well, obviously Ron DeSantis will be the guy, but I don't think he's a sure thing against a Nikki Haley type, because I still think the Republican establishment would still want to run their Nikki Haley. They're going to run her regardless, I think, and their primary map is not as favorable to Ron DeSantis as it is Donald Trump. Iowa would open the doors for a guy like, usually Iowa picks the most evangelical candidate. Donald Trump's too popular in Iowa to lose, but in a primary with DeSantis and Nikki Haley and everything, I think that could open the door for someone like Ted Cruz if he decides to run, or Mike Pence. And then I think Nikki Haley would win New Hampshire, and I think she would win South Carolina. And so now Ron DeSantis needs to win Florida, which he would, but it would be a lot more contentious of a primary. It wouldn't be a sure thing because the Republican establishment, I think, would have an easier time going against Ron DeSantis without the name recognition, without the cult of personality, without the love and adoration that working class whites and Hispanics have for Donald Trump. It would be a much closer fight. So I do think ultimately Ron DeSantis would win the primary if he were to run, but it would be very tough. It wouldn't be a sure thing. So if I was handicapping this race, I think Nikki Haley is a good buy at 7 cents, not because I think she's going to win, but because I think she's going to run regardless. Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, they're both not going to run. So when either one of them announces they're going to run, say Donald Trump says, I'm running in 2024, well, Ron DeSantis is going to go to 0. Someone needs to collect the rest of Ron DeSantis. Like, if Donald Trump says he's going to run, he's probably going to shoot up at 80 or 90. But there still is going to be a lane for someone like Nikki Haley, because you're still going to hear the media say they're going to carry the Republican leadership message of saying we need to stop Trump in the primary, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to hype up whoever the never Trump appointed candidate is, which I think is going to be Nikki Haley. And therefore, I think you're going to see something like 80-20, like 20 cents for Nikki Haley, 80 for Donald Trump, regardless of whether Trump or DeSantis runs. So I think you could easily triple Nikki Haley's 7 cents right now, or you can buy yes at 8 cents. I think she'll get to the 20s regardless, because she's going to be the preferred candidate of the Republican establishment. So right now, no, we're still about 2 years away from this market resolving, but I think the best play right now is Nikki Haley at 7 cents, just because she's going to be the chosen one of the Republican leadership, regardless of whether Trump or DeSantis running. And I think you could triple your investment if she gets to 20 cents. But I do think Donald Trump is going to run, and I do think that he will go into the 70s or 80s if he decides to run. So I think the two plays right now is I would buy Nikki Haley and I would buy Donald Trump. I think you would double your 40-cent investment on Donald Trump. I think you would triple anything Nikki Haley. And those are the two plays I recommend here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more political betting market analysis right here on my channel, The Political Seer.